We are back. I don't know what happened, but I'm glad that I could have Latesha back here. So we're just going to keep it going. So, you were talking, or we were talking about best case scenario and a
Oh, right.
positive outcome. And
Yep.
so, and what were you saying before it happened? If you can remember, if not, we can keep going. We know how to do this.
Yes. So I was saying I had to really kind of dig deep and think about, well, where is this feeling of maybe lack or, self-defeat kind of coming from? And I realized that it is rooted from my childhood, just dealing with some abandonment issues with my parents and not having a lot of money growing up. I work like I'm broke.
Tell the truth.
And business has been doing very well for quite some time, but I worked so hard. Like I had to understand that if I don't do anything more than what I'm doing right now in my business, then it's enough.
That's nice.
Yeah. And so just being able to kind of identify the root problem and accept that that's not going to define me and that's not me anymore. I'm not that young child trying to, prove to my mom that I am worthy and deserving of attention and love, or that, I can also contribute to the household so she doesn't have to worry about me. So I'll work just as hard. Like I don't have to, just trying to like heal from that inner child has been key. And so what I've been doing is, writing affirmations in the morning, telling myself, that one, you deserve everything, or I deserve everything that I work for. It is all mine. No one is going to take it away from me. And I'm doing more than enough, so I have to constantly remind myself of these things throughout the day. I feel like we're all on this emotional roller coaster right now where we can be up 1 hour and then we're down and low the next hour. And that's why I think it's so important to be even more intentional about, your thoughts, and like power of the mind and control of the mind, is important. I'm not going to sit here and say like, I am, super positive. I'm a pretty optimistic person, but I'm not going to sit here and ignore, my emotions. I try to sit in my emotions and say, okay, why am I feeling this way? Where is this stemming from? Should I separate facts versus feelings? And then reminding myself of just how great I am. I think from a career perspective, with what some of my clients go through, when you are constantly told, you can't do this, you can't do that, you start to think like, is it me? Is it me? And so we have to remind ourselves that we are more than our job. We are more than our employer. If we feel like we deserve to get promoted, then we deserve to get promoted.
That's it.
And so, yeah, that's been a big piece of it.
That's excellent. And I'm glad, you're doing your own self-work along with, you mentioned therapy. But I think that I know that that's a big part of childhood abandonment, how our parents treated us, how we translated affection, how we were applauded or not applauded, or enjoyed, because some parents don't enjoy their kids or not enjoyed, and so we go into this workforce environment or relationships, just life itself, and we show up like this. And this is a great opportunity which you've taken to see that I'm more than what I thought I was,
right?
And then says you work like you were broke. How many of us are are doing that? And are not taking a break and are actually physically harming ourselves because we're trying to prove something.
Right.
Yeah. So Great, great. And thank you for your vulnerability, because I think
Oh, yeah.
when we as women who are entrepreneurs and are CEOs, wherever we sit in the world, or whatever your position is, we have to understand that just because we're strong, it does not mean we don't have feelings. And it's
Right.
like you said, it's okay to feel.
Right.
Well, you kind of said that, but you also
Mm-hmm.
said looking, feeling over fact, right? You have
Mm-hmm.
to weigh that, but it's okay to feel. When I say feel, I mean emotions, in the
Right.
sense of, I need to work on this. I'm super sensitive. When a colleague or a boss says something to me, or when I have to speak to an employee, I just can't, I got problems. And, those are the things that we have to work in. So thank you for that. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
What are
Yeah.
you, what are you reading now?
I am, I'm reading a lot about just diversity in the workplace. Hold on, let me put my glasses on so I can see my books over here. I took them, I took them off so I could focus on our conversation.
I got you.
So I typically read like 5 books at one time. Like I dabble in this book and this one, whatever I'm feeling. Diversity in the Workplace is one by Barry Williams. I just bought Hood Feminism, and I'm like just diving into it. And then Elaine Weddleworth, I think I'm saying her last name correctly, and her book is You Are Enough, or You Are More Than Enough. Yeah. So those are the books that I'm reading.
So have you gotten anything from that you would like to share, or you're still in the research mode?
I'm still in the research mode. I'm like the first 10 pages
Okay.
in.
All right.
But I enjoy reading because I think it really just allows me to focus on just one thing. Like I feel like we are distracted by so many different things all the time. And that's why I do enjoy reading, because it can be a bit of an escape. But I even know for me, I'm hoping to create more time within my schedule where I can read. Yeah, I've been doing a lot more journaling than anything, journaling and listening to podcasts.
So you mentioned schedule. What kind of schedule do you give yourself? Because you said you work hard. Well,
Right.
maybe not anymore, but since you've had the revelation. But what kind of schedule do you like to
Uh-huh.
work with?
Yeah. It's when we were first in the pandemic, I was staying up late. I wasn't sleeping much. Um, I didn't feel safe. Like I
Okay.
didn't feel safe. So I could not sleep. I could not sleep well. But my schedule right now is I wake up between 7 to 7:30, and I start my workday at 9. I like to start really as early as possible. So I'll wake up, I'll journal, do affirmations, I'll do a meditation, and, eat breakfast, make my coffee, try to get some things done before. I don't have like a set team that, we don't come into the office, but I have my assistant, have an intern. And so like before they start sending me a bunch of emails, I like to get work done. Before client emails start coming in, I like to get some things done. But I typically start my workday at 9. And, I like to make sure I have buffers in between my meetings. And there are some days where I'm working really late. I think something you mentioned earlier, Carla, was that sometimes you feel like you haven't done anything and you've done all these things.
Yes.
Like I do a lot of webinars, and I think, oh, let me just jump on this, Google Meet Hangout or this Zoom and talk to the people, and that's it. But I get so worn out from those. So if I have like my Google webinars that I do typically end around 8:30-ish Eastern time. And so I'm typically working all day until that, and then I'll sleep in the next day. So I give myself grace during my schedule. And for me, I'm really big on energy too.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes my energy is just not there.
Yeah.
Like, I just can't even process an email. I can't write an article because my brain won't allow me to. And when I feel that way, my body is telling me and my brain is telling me, you need a break. So sometimes I'll just come in my room and I will literally sit in the dark and turn my diffuser on and just relax. No
Yes.
sound, no light, turn off all the sensory overload.
Yeah.
But I do take breaks throughout the day.
I love that. I love that you listen to your body.
Yes, I have to.
Many of us push and push, and then we get sick, and this is not the time to get sick. But
No.
we just keep pushing and pushing, and then our health shows it. And I mentioned that earlier. So it's sensitive. What I'm hearing you, there's benefit in being sensitive when your brain says no and your body says no. You need to say no. You just really just to say
Exactly.
no, and don't feel guilty about it. Do you feel guilty when you do that?
Oh, no, ma'am. Mm-mm. You know, I don't feel guilty for much
Good.
anymore. Now that I'm saying that out loud, I'm trying to think. I think, like, if I feel guilty, it's like, okay, I forgot to call my grandma back, you know?
That kind of, yeah.
But no, now before I used to feel guilty about not doing certain things or hitting certain things. But man, when I tell you that giving myself grace throughout this whole pandemic has helped me so much. I mean, there are things that I need to be doing today that I know I'm not going to get to. And I'm just thinking, like, you know what? I'll get to it tomorrow and life will be okay. Everybody, my clients, they'll be okay.
Yeah.
I'm such a structured, and I would love to get your thoughts on this, Carla, too.
Okay.
I'm such a structured person. Like, I'm type A, like Capricorn, like things have to be this way. I put my clothes out the night before I wake up, and I can plan here's the other thing, like, I can plan my whole business strategy. I have my whole business strategy planned for the year. And with this pandemic, it
Oh.
just shifted everything, took it all away,
Oh.
in a good way. And
Yeah.
so, I am being more flexible with my clients. I'm giving myself more grace. If my clients are like, look, I don't feel well, I can't do our session today, I'm like, you know what? It's cool. Don't even worry about it. And, things were so out of whack. And I mean, definitely, still a little bit, but yeah, I'm just learning, like, grace, not feeling guilty. And it's like I still have structure, but I have like a flexible or adaptable structure now. What about you though?
What about me? Am I structured, or how do I?
Yeah. Yeah.
I will say I used to be very more structured than I am now. I am pretty much listening to my body more, listening just I'm really trying to stay in tune of just the environment. Meaning, if my client cancels, I'm like you, if my client cancels, it's like, okay, it's not a problem, or they need to reschedule. I'm very open to that. But for myself, I used to wake up at 4:30, then go work out. Now they close my gym here. So, that messed me up, and not mess me up, but it changes. It does mess you up because you're used to what you do and you get your
Oh
rhythm
yeah.
in. I have to say, in the last 3 months, I have calmed down a lot. And this is what I feel that got me hyped, though. All the books I read that tell me I have to do this, and this. I feel like I was just doing what they said, and
Mm.
now I'm doing what I need to do for me.
Yep. Yeah.
So I think
That
that,
is so important.
yeah, I'm reading my own, like you said, reading your body. I'm reading my body. I'm reading my clients. I'm reading my kids. I'm reading whatever's going on. It's not so much of pull, 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 push, push, push. Now, don't get me wrong. I do my stuff, but now we have the space to kind of relax, and
Right.
I'm taking it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
these are the adversity comes in, whether we see it as the pandemic or what's happening with racism. These things happen, I feel, for a reason. So let's sit back and see what's going on and what's my part in it. And what do I need to shift? Because we get into this rhythm, this hypnotic rhythm, without even realizing what we're doing anymore. Right? We're like hypnotized in this rhythm.
Yep.
And this
Yep.
has shaken up our rhythm. And we
Yes.
have to acknowledge that and be okay. And many of us are not okay, especially that first, what they said, alcohol sales went woof.
Oh yeah. I know
Yeah.
I was buying
Yes.
bottles of wine. Like, I don't know, I'm coming back to this grocery store in about another 2 weeks. So let me get these
Exactly.
5 bottles.
Exactly. And then when you could pick up your booze, there's a place down for me. I live in Old Town. And so I have restaurants and things all just right outside the door here. And they're like margaritas to go, Cadillac margaritas to go. I'm like, okay, you know, you can walk down the street with your container. But it just so, but I want to say this because you were talking about time to yourself and what we do with it. And
Yeah.
I would hope that we wouldn't take this time, and nothing wrong with drinking, but I hope that we
Right.
wouldn't take this time to drink or whatever drugs we choose to do. I don't know what every listener does, so I'll just say that. But are we running from feeling what we need to feel right now?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and I will stop there. This is your time on my podcast, and I will stop there.
No, I'm with you. I mean,
Yeah.
I stopped. I was buying bottles of wine and I stopped.
Mm-hmm.
Me and my girlfriends did a virtual brunch.
Oh, that was big. Remember all that virtual happy hours?
Oh, yeah. We were doing, well, I wasn't doing it all, but I did the virtual brunch and that was cool. We, each of us cooked chicken and waffles. One person shared the jerk chicken recipe. Another friend shared, I think we all said, we just going to do the waffles out the freezer and throw it in the toaster.
That's right. That's right.
But we had mimosas, and when I tell you, I had that whole bottle of champagne, and I could not get up from my couch that whole day. I was stuck, and
Yes.
After that, I just said, you know what? I don't even want to drink. So I personally don't really. I came into this pandemic, drinking wine and whatever, and now I don't drink anymore.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'm going to get back to it. But I think one thing that you did say, which is in terms of us like sleepwalking during the day, we don't even realize like, we're doing what we were conditioned to do. And, even if we think about a lot of the societal structures that have been in place, like there's a lot of people that are challenging systems and challenging laws and rules and companies and company cultures and how and why things are the way that they are. And I think that's what makes me excited about this year, just to kind of see that we are challenging the things and questioning the things that we were once told to have to be this way, because it really doesn't. And this is why it's so key to, ask yourself, with your career, like, am I doing what I want, or what am I doing what someone else told me that I should do? Or am I doing what someone else told me I should do if I want to be this person? And that person that I was told I needed to be, do I even want to be that person? Do I want that job? Do I want that career? Do I want all of these things? And, I hate's a strong word. I don't like the fact that society has really pushed achievement. And so those types of things can also really take a hit on our own confidence and self-esteem, because we think like, oh, I did this job for 3 years. I didn't get a promotion. I didn't get this. I didn't get this, raise, or all of these things. I wasn't able to move up like I thought I would. And then we start to feel really bad, and that guilt and shame takes over, and it's not fair.
No, it's
I know
not.
it's like, I sound like a kid. Like,
but it's
fair.
so true. It's so true. It is so true.
So yeah, this is a year to question it all, to rethink what success looks like. And were you drinking because you enjoyed it, or were you drinking because it was a social and fun thing to do? Like, that's when I realized it wasn't for me.
Yeah. Or are you drinking because you need to deal with some things?
Yes,
You
that
know,
too.
that add that third one there, because a lot of us are finding out we don't like ourselves when we're by
Yes,
ourselves.
right.
And yeah, so this is, I'm telling you, we're coming out of this hypnotized rhythm, hypnotic rhythm, I like to say, because we're learning to, like you said, march to the beat of our own drum. If we're bold enough to do that,
If we're bold enough.
this is the opportunity to live your dream and to do what you feel fit. Like you said earlier, when people are saying, what do I want to do? Is it shift? Is it pivot? Is it quit?
Yep. Yep.
And are you coaching anybody to quit?
Yeah, if they need to.
I know that's right.
Well, so I will never. Okay, let me
We
be
can't.
clear.
Exactly. We don't say quit.
It's so funny because I was doing a Twitter live and I talked about that. When you think about quitting a job, or you're quitting your company, you don't feel guilty or don't feel shame for quote unquote being a quitter. You're not quitting a job. You're probably quitting a toxic work environment, or a place that didn't value you and didn't appreciate and invest in you. You're quitting certain things. Like you're not a quitter per se. And sometimes you got to quit some things. But to be clear, I've had clients that through my coaching program, they have ended up quitting their job. And I'm like, wait. Do you have another job lined up? Like, do you have, what are we doing here? Because I'm not going to tell you to quit your job until you land something else, because we got bills to pay. We have things that we have to do, commit to financially. And so, they'll tell me like, I could not do it anymore. And I've had clients that have quit. They have money saved up. They went back to school, maybe after being told or feeling like, oh, I don't want to start over. I don't want to start from scratch, when that's not really I don't know how I feel about defining it as a starting from scratch moment. It's just getting clear about, what you want and redirecting.
Yeah.
But I've had clients that have left toxic work environments and they've just taken some time to figure out what they want to do. Other clients have quit 6-figure jobs and did a tech boot camp and landed a job paying twice as much. So,
well.
It's like they quit, they might leave something, but then they move on to something greater.
Yeah. And that's peace of mind for them. So it's not that we as coaches can control if they quit or how they quit, but it's definitely, something happens when you're coached, because what you're giving them is confidence, which you said they usually come in lacking.
Right.
Understanding their value, or what they add in value to their position. And now they're working with you and they're discovering just how badass they are.
That's right.
And they're like, why am I sitting up here taking this abuse of some form? I use that word lightly or loosely. But when you're in a toxic situation and your boss is coming down on you, nothing they say you do right, and then you can go somewhere else and flourish. So then, kudos to you as their coach. Kudos to you. So,
thank you.
And also you shared a little bit about some increases that you've seen happen. Tell me about that in people's salary.
Yes. So, Carla, I didn't tell you this, but I have a new mission this year. And I know it's like July 2020, but it's okay.
That's all right.
I have a coach as well. I have 2 business coaches, actually. Because I think all coaches need coaches too. Therapists need therapists and all that.
Yes.
And so my mission is to help women increase their salaries and earning potential by 10 million this year.
Whoa. Yes. You hear that? You hear that, listeners? Okay.
So, I know I'm well on my way. I have to go back and do some math. And I told one of my other friends, she's a coach as well. And she said, I bet you're already like 80% there.
I believe so.
So you're just going to flex on us in December.
I think it might be sooner. That is so good.
Yes. So my clients I've gotten, one of my clients landed a job at a large tech company and her bonus alone was $80K.
Wow.
So, I consistently see 20K, 25K, 40, 50, 60K salary increases when they were told before, like, you can't get nothing else from us, at prior companies. So it's just really amazing to
I
see
love it.
that. And every day I have someone that has reached out, and it's not all through coaching. It might be through the membership club or a master class or live. And they told me just like, following and listening and watching the things that you say, it gave me the confidence that I needed. And I went and requested a promotion and I got it, So it's very rewarding to hear that I'm able to make that type of impact.
Yes. Oh, I'm clapping.
Oh, thank you.
So tell us about your Career Chasers Members Club.
Yes. So my Career Chasers Members Club is my baby that I've birthed in April, and she is 3 months old.
Just adorable.
But it's an online community for women of color that are seeking career guidance, clarity, strategy, as they chase their career goals. So that's how I came up with the Career Chasers Members Club. We are 200 plus strong. We are in an open enrollment right now until July 7th, and won't be open again. I open it every quarter. Mm-hmm. But yeah, my goal is to get us up to 500 members this month, and hopefully to 1,000 by the end of this year. But each month where I host a monthly live masterclass. We have different themes too. So some of the themes over the past few months have been on interviewing with confidence, job search strategy during the pandemic, how to structure and tailor your resume. Trying to think, what was the last one? We did one on, there's one I'm missing, but July's theme is actually on salary negotiation and understanding what the full compensation package should look like. So each month we have a different theme. I do ask members to tell me what they want to talk about. And throughout the month, we also have a pretty engaging online group where the members will share articles and podcasts and other resources with each other. I think in terms of the purpose and why I started this was because, a lot of my coaching has been one-on-one. And I realized for a lot of my clients, they may be the only woman of color in their workplace. Mm-hmm. And they were feeling like, okay, this is just happening to me. When I'm able to take all of those different women and put them in the same space who all feel isolated and lonely, they realize that it's not them. They feel like, oh, I'm in a safe space and I can feel seen and heard and have the encouragement, and support that I need to continue to move forward. So yeah,
that is great.
It's great. Yeah. I'm really excited about the growth of it. I'm excited about even just them being able to build relationships. I know some of them have said, I'll be a referral for you. And I found this job opportunity. And, they're just really connecting and learning from not just me, but from each other. And that was not something I was able to provide through one-on-one coaching.
Yeah. Wow. That's great. Now, so what level? Is it entry level? Are they able to get in on this Career Chasers membership? Or do you have a criteria of a certain level, like executive level, or is it open to all levels of employment?
It is open to all levels. So I have some that are, recent graduates. I talked to a woman earlier today who just joined, and when we were talking, she was like, "You sound young and you look young," but I don't know because black don't crack. Like, yeah. Are you a millennial? But she
Yeah.
told me that she's 53.
Uh-huh.
And so we have women from early 20s to even in their 50s.
Good.
And a variety of industries are all over. They're not just here in the US. I have some members that are in Ghana, some that are in the UK, and yeah, it's definitely a variety, you know. So there is also some reverse mentoring going on. The members said, "Hey, we want an accountability program," and I was like, "Oh, okay, well, let's do it." And so, you know, even with the accountability program, you know, I really, we connect their accountability partners based on what they can provide and then also what they're looking for. And you know, sometimes our younger members can learn from older members can learn from the younger. So,
Definitely.
yeah, it's definitely a diverse group.
Yes. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, and ladies, hearing you hear this Career Chaser Members Club. This is something that you really got to look into. How do we contact you, or how do they contact you?
So I am on Instagram and Twitter, same handle, Latesha underscore Byrd. And you can find me on LinkedIn. I'm more active. I'm most active on Twitter. I love Twitter. I'm always dropping career gems. So if you really want to engage with me, come and find me on Twitter. But like I said, I'm also on Instagram and on LinkedIn.
And I'll go ahead and add that to the show notes. And it's Latesha underscore BYRD.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Yep, that's right.
BYRD. Make sure that's the Y in there. So,
Right.
gosh, this has been amazing. You got a lot of wisdom.
Thank you.
A
I
lot of
learned from you.
a lot of insight. Oh, I love it. A lot of insight and a lot of good self work you're doing on a personal level. And I really like
Mm-hmm.
when I work with my clients, there's no way that you can go higher up the ladder if you don't work on your foundation.
That's
And
right.
you're really doing some great stuff. And I am
Thank you.
simply honored and proud of you. And
Thank you.
keep going.
Yes, I
Keep
will.
You
I
will. I know
will.
you. Keep
But you
going.
know, I'm ready to retire in a couple more years.
Well, you know what? And you do that. You travel the world and do
Mm-hmm.
all the things you love to do because you deserve it, right?
Yes,
That's like your
yes.
affirmation says. You deserve it.
Deserve
You
it.
deserve it.
When outside opens, I will be, you
You know
know,
what?
living my life.
I mean, I tell you, it's like this is the time we go out and buy our own planes because
Mm-hmm.
I think I want to go more places than they're able to take me right now.
I know. I'm serious.
It's like
Yes.
about a whole nother thing. But thank you
Mm-hmm.
so much, Latesha. You rocked it, and it has been such an honor and a blessing. So, ladies and gentlemen who do listen, go ahead, check the notes on this podcast so you can reach out to Latesha and hit her up. Like she says, she's more on Twitter, but she is on Instagram and definitely on LinkedIn. And all right, I hope to hear you guys. And remember, you gotta subscribe because we have stuff coming to you that you're going to enjoy. All right, thank you, Latesha, and you have a good
Thank
evening.
you. Thanks
Okay.
for having me.
Oh, my pleasure. Talk to you soon.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye bye.